Mastermind members, I'm Rob Kosberg with the Association of Christian Businesses. First of all, I want to congratulate each and every one of you for taking this great step in building your business and masterminding with other super successful Christian businesses and business owners and professionals. Of course, you have my dear friend Mark Feinberg there to guide you and help you along with TACB style marketing. Every month as you guys meet, I'm going to be preparing a short lesson. For the most part, it probably will be a biblical concept. That's what I'm going to be sharing today with a business application. It'll be just a few minutes, something for you guys to discuss, but also something that I want you to grab your pens and your notebooks, because you're going to have some really good business applications for this principle that I'm going to share with you in just a few minutes. So let's go ahead and jump right in, and we'll start with the biblical principle first and then dig right into how this applies to each and every one of your businesses. So first of all, there's a great story and lesson in 2 Samuel chapter 7. And I want to read just a moment of it and then share a little bit of what my thoughts are. First, in chapter 7, verse 1, it says, after the king was settled in his palace, and the Lord had given him rest from all his enemies around him, he said to Nathan the prophet, "Here I am living in a palace of cedar, while the ark of God remains in a tent." Nathan replied to the king, "Whatever you have in mind, go ahead and do it, for the Lord is with you." That night the word of the Lord came to Nathan, saying, "Go and tell my servant David, this is what the Lord says. Are you the one to build me a house to dwell in? I have not dwelt in a house from the day I brought the Israelites up out of Egypt to this day. I have been moving from place to place, with a tent as my dwelling. Wherever I have moved with all the Israelites, did I ever say to any of the rulers whom I commanded to shepherd my people Israel, 'Why have you not built me a house of cedar?'" The story goes on, and of course David is not the one to build the temple, his son Solomon is. But what the Lord does is he goes on and promises David that I took you from following sheep to being a shepherd over my people Israel. And now I'm going to build a house for you, David. And I'm going to make your name like the greatest, the names of the greatest men on the face of the earth. And of course, we name our children David to this very day because of what he means and what he symbolizes to all of us literally thousands of years later. Not only that, but the line of Jesus, the Messiah, came through David's bloodline. It's interesting here, and the concept I want to share with you is very simply the idea of taking the focus off of yourself, no matter what your troubles or your difficulties are, and to put your focus first and foremost on God, but secondly on others, and in particular your clients and your customers. It's very interesting, but of course the ark had been with them from the time of Moses. So basically from the time that, as the Lord says here, that he took the Israelites out of Egypt until David. And of course you had great leaders through that time. Moses, Joshua, all of the judges, of course Samuel who appointed David, even Saul that came before David. And none of them, even the greatest ones like Joshua, none of them thought to build a house for the ark, for the Lord. Only David put his troubles and his difficulties aside, and he had plenty of them. If you know the story of his family and the difficulties he had with his children, of course the difficulties he had with Saul trying to kill him, David put all of that aside and made a decision, I want to do something for God. I don't want to do something for God so that it will reflect positively on me. I really just, here I am living in this house of cedar. I want to do something for the Lord. And of course God says, look, I never told anybody to do this. And no one took it upon themselves to think about doing this, only David. So in one sense, there's no surprise that what happened for David was that his name was made like the names of the greatest men on the face of the earth, and that we name our children David to this very day. It's no surprise that the line of the Messiah came through David, because David was so focused on the needs of others and so focused on his God. What I want you to do today, not only in this mastermind, but moving forward, is to try to put your own difficulties and troubles and problems aside and focus not on what a successful business will do for you, but what it will do for others, how it will make God's name great, how it will save souls, and certainly how it will help and meet the needs of the people that you're serving. See, the leaders that came before David, leaders like Joshua, leaders like Samuel, leaders like all the great judges that came before, they were certainly great men, and they cared for the people. But David took it a step further than those people did, than those leaders did. And I want to challenge you to take it a step further as well. So I want to give you a couple of ideas for your businesses and some thoughts on how you can think in terms of meeting your customers' needs first before your own. I want to give you an idea and some profiling questions so you can think in your mind about your customers. This will help you in writing ads. This will help you in your marketing message. This will help you to ensure that you close the sale, because if they leave you, they're not going to get their needs met. They're not going to be served in the way that you can serve them and meet their needs. That, of course, is a conviction we have. And as you know, Mark is one of the greatest salespeople and closers that I know. And the reason is because when people come to him, he won't let them go. He knows they have a need, and he is going to meet that need. So here's some things I want you to think about. Number one, what keeps your customer awake at night? What keeps the indigestion boiling up and their eyes open, staring at the ceiling? Number two, what are they afraid of? What are your customers concerned about? What are the thoughts that are going on in their minds that are fears and struggles? Number three, what are they angry about, or what are they angry at? Number four, what are their top 3 daily frustrations? Remember, you're thinking in terms of your customer and meeting your customer's needs. Last but not least, I want you to picture yourself for a moment kind of sitting at the dining room table with your customer, maybe even hiding underneath the dining room table, as your customer, perhaps a husband and wife, talk about their fears and their problems and their difficulties. What is it that's keeping them up at night? You need to get into their conversation so that you can meet their need. When you do that, and you put aside your own difficulties and your own troubles and your own frustrations, and you focus on them and their needs, you will make more sales, you will make a greater impact, because you'll be meeting their needs first before your own. That's something that I hope that we do for you at TACB. It's something we try to model at Crown Financial Solutions as well. So Mastermind members, thanks for listening. Thanks for taking the plunge and making the commitment to your business and to your spouses and yourselves, because this is going to be a great journey and your business is going to grow because of it. Thanks so much, and God bless.